So in today's video, I wanted to do something a little different, and I wanted to tell you guys a story that I've never told anyone, and I don't really know why I've never told anyone this story, but I do want you to know that this story is 100% true, and there's one man that witnessed this story. I hope he doesn't mind that I'm talking about him. But that will come later. Before we get started, as always, the name that I have chosen for today is Joshua. The name Joshua means God is salvation. And that being said, I guess we should get started. So, I grew up in a very small, very country town. The name of that town was Collettsville. Wasn't much to do in that town, obviously. This was around the time that the internet was just coming out, and it didn't reach that far. So we were true country kids. We played paintball. We would go out and play in the woods. Shoot guns, fight. That kind of thing. And this story is going to sound very unbelievable, quite impossible, to be honest, and I still can't explain it to this day. But I felt that you guys needed to hear it, and I hope that you guys take something from the story, and if it resonates with you, then I encourage you to stay to the end, because I don't think it's gonna end the way that you think it is. So, growing up in that town, it's in the Bible Belt of the South. So we grew up in church. My grandparents are probably the most righteous, holy people that you could ever hope to meet. They've never taken a sip of alcohol. They've never said a cuss word. They've never yelled, never gotten angry, and I strive to be like them every day. So that being said, anyone from my hometown that sees this or hears this story is not going to believe it 100%, because I was not that kid. I was the one who everybody looked at thought was a bad kid. We really weren't bad. I just, from the time that I was young, always felt that life was very short, and so we should try to do as much as I possibly could in the shortest amount of time possible. So the story takes place at the house of the Young family, and I loved the Young family. The person that is a witness to this story, his name was Nathan Young, and Nathan Young was one of my best friends growing up. We went to the same church, and he was the funniest person. Still to this day, I think Nathan Young is one of the funniest people that I've ever met. Like he could make you laugh until you cried for nothing. So, but he had a huge backyard, and in that backyard we just set up paintball courses, and we would go outside, and we did all kinds of stuff. And he had 4-wheelers. That's kind of where this story starts. And I had never driven a 4-wheeler before. I had never driven anything. I guess at this time I was about 14, and it was right before I got my driver's license. And so I really didn't know how to drive anything. I didn't know how to drive a manual 4-wheeler. And this 4-wheeler was not your average huge 4-wheeler that you would take up through the woods. It was like a racing ATV 4-wheeler. I still don't know anything about 4-wheelers to this day, so yeah. And it had 4 gears, And it was the first time that Nathan had ever let me drive one. Well, in his backyard, me and him were driving the four-wheelers, and they had a large hill. They had a hill that went straight down, and I didn't know at the time it had a bunch of rivets in it. It had a bunch of holes in the hill. And I don't know if you've ever been driving a four-wheeler and you've went down a hill and it had a bunch of bumps. But whenever you're up in the air on a four-wheeler, you can't steer. And so at the bottom of this hill, there was an old white rusty truck, and the tailgate was facing towards the hill. And I was in fourth gear. I was going really fast. I have no idea, probably maybe 30 miles an hour. I don't know. And I started going down this hill, and the four-wheeler just started jumping, and it was back and forth. And me being the first time on a four-wheeler, I had no idea what I was doing, and I couldn't turn, I couldn't steer, and I just saw that I was going straight towards the back of this truck. I didn't know what was going to happen, and I ended up running right into the back of it. I mean, just me went right under that truck. And both of my legs were trapped under it. I went straight under it, so I couldn't move. The four-wheeler stopped. But at that time, I felt nothing. I didn't feel anything. And that sounds so crazy. Like, if you think about walking through your house and stumping your foot on the edge of your bed, like the pain that you feel, like just anything. Like if you just, you feel something. And I was quiet. I didn't make a sound. And I didn't think about anything at the time. And Nathan saw me at the bottom of this hill, and he was yelling, and he flew down to the bottom of the hill, and he was just screaming, and he was like, Josh, you okay? And I just remember looking at him. I just turned and I looked him straight in the face, and I didn't say anything. And Nathan came down, and he grabbed the front of the four-wheeler, and he pushed it forward. And when he did, we both looked down, and we saw my legs. And my legs, on both of my knees, they had just dips in them, like something had just pushed both of my knees to the side. There wasn't a scratch on it, but I mean, it looked like I had half of a knee, like on both sides. And like I said, I still didn't feel anything. And me and him both looked down at my knees, and we both sat there and we watched as they just slowly came back out, like I was made of rubber or something, like I was made of not flesh and bone. And the four-wheeler, the front of it was messed up. It wasn't totaled, but there was a metal bar on the front of it, and that metal bar was bent. Like, I mean, bent to where, I mean, you couldn't move it. You couldn't put it back to the way it was. And I still didn't feel anything. And that was something that, is impossible. Something that I could never explain, that I never thought would happen again, And from that moment forward, I just I felt like I was invincible, obviously. 14 years old, like a young kid. And I don't know why I never told that story. You know, I don't know why. I mean, I never told my mom. I never told. I have two younger brothers. I never told my brothers. It was just something that, you know, just me and Nathan experienced. And I guess the reason that I'm telling the story is that I know now that nothing in your life is impossible. There's nothing, no illness or injury or sickness that can't be fixed if you believe. And if you believe in, you know, I would always make jokes, like growing up, like, you know, I've got two angels on my shoulders, and I got guardian angels that are looking out for me. I do believe that. I do believe that 100%. But definitely not in a way that I'm, you know, joking about it or kidding about it. And I'm definitely not one of those people who anyone who's ever met me would say is religious or, you know, but I mean, I've never felt alone. Like, you know, when you're by yourself in a dark room, or you're by yourself in the car, like, you know, you feel truly alone. I've never felt that way. I've always thought that, you know, there was someone there, you know, someone watching me at all times. And I'm a person who doesn't believe in fear. I don't think you should let fear control your life, or I don't think you should let fear stop you from doing anything that you want to do. And in a certain way, that's not really true, because I've had one big fear, I guess you could say. And that one fear is that one day when I died, or one day when I finally died, that I would get to heaven if God so chose, and he would look at me and he would say, you know, I gave you all these gifts, I gave you all these things, and you didn't do anything with them. And that scares me. It scares me a lot. And I don't know, something's kind of happened to me lately, and I really hope that you kind of take this and if it resonates with you, if it, you know, touches your soul, you know, to maybe try to find a relationship, you know, with God, if that's who, you know, if you're feeling lost, or if you feel like something's missing out of your life, or if your life doesn't have purpose, I think that's something that God can only give you. He can only give you purpose. He can only make you feel whole. And the times that we're living in, I feel like they're getting closer and closer to something big, to something that's not, you know, not material. It's not of this world. A lot of crazy things are happening if you open your eyes and see. And yeah, I just thought that's something that something just told me that, you know, I need to tell the story. And back then, or I guess I was afraid of how people would see me. And in a town, you know, in my small little country town that I grew up in, if you told a story like that, or if you said anything like that, you know, it would, I just always thought people would think I was telling it for attention or something like that, but that's not at all, you know, what I want. I don't want any kind of attention for this, but I really want to thank God for both of my legs. I feel like, you know, I wouldn't have my life. I have so many other stories that I could tell you that, you know, I came really close to death so many times. I was in the military for a little while, but I mean, even before that, we were crazy kids. I mean, we fought. You know, in our freshman year, we started a fight club, and you know, it wasn't something that we would fight other people. We would actually fight each other, our friends. You know, things like that, and um, so many things I could tell you guys. And I know this isn't what my channel's about. I know this isn't something that you know, isn't in the same niche or category that I make videos about, but I feel it's important. I feel like everyone should try to find that relationship. If you feel like it's something you need to do, or if you're going through hard times, or if you know, need someone to talk to, he's always there. I feel like he's always been there for me, and he's definitely always there for you. I'm nobody, and I'm nothing. I'm nothing special. And people who know me, especially from back then, they're gonna think I'm crazy, you know. But I don't care. And I really hope you guys kind of got something out of that story. If anybody has questions or wants to ask me anything, definitely not. You know, I'll answer anything you have, or any question you want to ask me. So I just wanted to put that out there, and yeah, I'm definitely not ashamed to talk about it, or ashamed of God, because that's all we have. I mean, at the end of the day, he's the one that's not gonna lie to you. He's the only one that's not gonna lie to you. So I really hope you guys got something out of that, and yeah, just remember, y'all are wonderful, and no one can take that away from you. So thanks.